Hello. Is it shoes you're looking for? Well, in that case, you're in the right place. Welcome to EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews. I'm hitting you today with another episode of my famous show, Running Shoe Yay or Nay. This is where I go through some soon-to-be-released running shoes, or perhaps recently released running shoes, and let you know whether I'm going to pick up a pair or not. It's not whether I think the shoe's a load of old rubbish, or it's the best thing since sliced bread. Purely whether I'm going to pick them up. It might be that another shoe tuber could do them more justice. As such, let's get to it. Thanks for joining us here today, guys. It's much appreciated. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and also click the bell over here for notifications of when I launch those new videos for you. Also give the video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. It'll help us get to the toppermost to the poppermost. Look down in the description, you can follow me on Strava and see what I've been doing to these lovely shoes, or hop over to Instagram as well for some more shoe related action. We got 4 shoes today. Let's not delay. This first one is from a Chinese company, and I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce the name. Qiaodan, maybe? It's their new offering, the Feiying KungFu Pro. I'm sure I haven't pronounced that right, but apparently it translates to Jordan, and I think there was some type of lawsuit actually from Jordan brand about the fact that they've called their company that. There's even a little picture there of a basketball player on the shoe, even though it's a running shoe. Looks like a mesh-like upper here with a midsole very reminiscent of just about every marathon super shoe out there. The upper's definitely got some DB8 Nitro and perhaps Adios Pro vibes to it in terms of the profile perhaps. That midsole profile too is very similar to Adidas's top-line marathon racer. Viewer Paul Soriano put me onto these beauties and they seem to work superbly well for him. He's been taking them out for some long runs for his marathon that he's got coming up. Best of luck with that one, Paul. The odd basketball player logo there surely at some point has landed them in some hot water, as I mentioned earlier with the Jordan brand. I think we got about a 5mm drop here from heel to toe, and Paul has suggested to me there's quite an aggressive plate in the midsole of this shoe. I think it's like a TPU EVA type blend. The upper mesh very translucent, almost like an, and also very much like vapor weave that you find on the Next Percent from Nike. Probably the same stuff. I expect they're made in the same factory even. Sadly, none of these in my size anywhere. I've searched around sifting for gold, but I found nothing. Just an old prospector with nothing to show for all my efforts. It's often a problem really with these Chinese brands. They only produce shoes up to a certain size. Alas, my feet are too large. Paul's comments though have spiked my interest in this one, enough to warrant me trying to get a pair. I will contact them and see if they have any, or maybe they can manufacture one for me that's a little bit bigger, but I think the chances are probably quite slim on that one. I'd probably say, EDDBUD who? Who is this man? It's actually a yay for the Feiying KungFu Pro, but I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to get one. Yeah, price is really good as well. Paul mentioned they're about $110, I think. He had to import them over from somewhere, but that's a great price for a shoe of this nature. Shoe number 2. From the Instagram account Absolute China, we have some mad images of a PUMA shoe. Another one that's got the Elite foam. This is the higher stacked FastR Nitro Elite. Do you see what they did there? FastR. I like it. This bonkers beast appears to have a more aggressive plate, featured with the 2 midsole segments of Nitro Elite foam in the forefoot and then some standard EVA stuff in the heel. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tempo Next Percent, I suppose. It's a similar setup, don't you think? It appears the exposed part of the midsole could feature a strengthened carbon plate just in that midsection there, perhaps in an attempt to minimise the foam required in the midsole, bringing down the overall weight while still stabilising the ride in the midfoot. I think the main doubt for some people with all these super shoes is the lack of stability that they have. If you need some stability in your shoe, you're just going to cause some injury if you try to utilise these. I find I'm quite a neutral runner, don't really have too many issues in terms of stability. I think my ankles actually might be quite strong. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure how you gauge this sort of thing. Maybe someone can come and feel my ankles to tell me how strong they really are. I think perhaps if you are relying on the heel area of the shoe, this one might come in handy. And shock horror, you know, lots of people do in fact heel strike, you know, and there's loads of people out there, these naysayers, oh, if you heel strike you're going to get injured. It's a load of old You always get these trolls appear from time to time and rip other people's form apart. It really gets quite tiresome, doesn't it? You know, when those people appear, there's one thing I do, and that's hide them from the channel. Mrs. EDDBUD mentioned that these look close to a pair of split-soled dance trainers, of which there's a picture there of some. I think you'll agree they are quite similar. She sort of did the normal face of like, you know, that's kind of what she does for most of these weird super shoes. I'm going to stop talking now in case she's listening. I think we got away with it. Puma Grip, of course, finishes off these bonkers high-vis efforts. It's an absolute yay for me on these. You guys know how much I like the EDDBUD Nitro Elite, probably one of my favourite shoes of the year. I did manage to get a few more miles into the Adios Pro 2 Berlin today, just to try and dispel the curse, because that was the shoe I wore when I got injured. I think it's probably just ahead of the Adios Pro 2 right now. So further tinkering with that Elite foam might be right up my street. What do you make of this one, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Shoe number 3. So a very speculative look now at what appears to be the ASICS Magic Speed 2. Now, I only brought the Magic Speed out a little bit earlier this year. In fact, I've only just managed to get a pair of them. It looks nothing like the current model. I'm not sure that it's even supposed to look like this. Something happened to this shoe. Less of a court jester vibe about the Magic Speed 2. You're gonna have to put away your bells and your pointy shoes. More of a copy actually of the Metaspeed Sky in terms of the profile. It actually looks like there's even more stack height there than that shoe. Perhaps we have Flight Foam Blast here rather than Flight Foam Turbo, and hence the lower price. Is it a lower price though? So it says $250. That's just madness. That would translate to about 185 Earth credits here in the UK. I reckon that this must be 250 Australian dollars. So that gives us about 138 Earth credits in the UK. That's about right. Maybe an extended plate here rather than the one that just features in the front in the Magic Speed. I'm very much commenting here, wearing my Tony Robinson Time Team archaeology hat. Speculation is my game right now. Details will appear in the near future, I'd imagine, and my opinion may switch or change on this one. But it does appear to be like a training version of the Metaspeed Sky. That makes a lot more sense to me. What about you? It does certainly look like there's some sculpting there in the midfoot of the midsole. There's just more foam by the looks of it. Or it could just be an optical illusion. Kind of like where you got the Zoom Fly is supposed to be a training version of the Next Percent, but it's not, because it's just a load of rubbish. I'm sorry, I know people like that shoe, but it's the worst shoe I bought all year. It's even worse than the Boston 10. I quite like the Boston 10 now. I've worn it a few times at slower pace. So I'm just going to say there's a small spark of yay about this one until I know some more details. You know, I can't give you a full yay or a full nay. Shoe 4 is the Mizuno Wave Sky 5. So it's quite a big update here for Mizuno's cushioned daily shoe. Big update though, as it comes at 155 Earth credits. It's a wallet busting price, that one, especially for a man that's just had to pay out for quite a lot of dental treatment. It's a fair wedge for a shoe that appears to be somewhat heavier than most daily offerings right now. 300 grams in the sample size. It's going to be way up there in my size, probably 340, 50, something like that. Do I need another daily shoe of that weight? Absolutely not. I'm a man that you can draw with about 4 or 5 lines on a piece of paper. That's the sort of profile I've got. The upper here is called Aero Hug. It just sounds comforting, doesn't it? Like a warm cup of hot chocolate with marshmallows and a nice family Christmas film. So Mizuno have got this down as a daily shoe, but at that price? Really, Mizuno? Are you tickling our funny bones here? Seems I've got a combo of foams as well. There's about 3 different ones in this one. It could explain the excess weight. I think you've got X Pop in there along with the actual wave foam itself, plus Mizuno's energy core stuff as well. So it's a real mixture. And you've got the X10 carbon rubber on the outsole as well. I wonder why it's called X10. I'll probably never know. I think it's going to be a nay for me, guys, on this one. It's just too much shoe. Not sure what Mizuno expect here with the competition coming in with cheaper and very light shoes compared to this one. 155 Earth credits for a daily clog is just too much for me. That's the 4 shoes in today's Yay or Nay. Let me know what you say down in the comments. Musical interlude time. Okay, today we have an album from Sonic Youth from 2006. This one's called Rather Ripped. And that's not a phrase that you can say about my right arm at the moment, because, yeah, Just not using it for about 3.5 weeks has meant that I looked even less ripped now than I did before. Favourite tracks here are Incinerate, Lights Out, and Pink Steam is also a real winner. I love the guitar tones here, guys, just chiming Jazzmaster sounds. It's like music to my ears. Well, I guess it is music to my ears, isn't it? Just really wondrous riffs here, just enough meat on the bones of the guitar sound to really excite me. Magical chiming bells like 1,000 elves inside a church, and they've been eating popping candy. That's what they've been doing. I think if anyone hears of that happening anywhere nearby, please call the authorities. Really is worth checking out this one. Beautiful drumming on there. Just nice simple production, no fancy stuff on here. If you've not heard Sonic Youth before, then you're in for a real treat. Rather Ripped from 2006 by Sonic Youth. Well, we've reached the end of today's video. I do appreciate you tuning in till the very last few frames, guys. If you have yet to do so, help the channel out please by hitting that subscribe button, but also hitting the bell below for notifications when we launch the new videos for you. And we make new videos pretty much every day, so you know there's some new nuggets coming every single time you raise your head from the pillow. You can also give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies too. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you